one thing that he told me was something nobody's ever told me. He said, stop showing signs of weakness. Don't bite your fingernails. Don't chew your lip. Don't be with your rope. Just no signs of weakness. And when you miss, stick your chest out and act like you're the baddest son of a gun there.
This is Chelsea Schaefer, and this is Season 4 of The Score. You all have listened to this podcast 750,000 times, and we are here in Season 4 to bring you even more of what you love.
We just wrapped up Day 6 at the Cinch USTRC National Finals of Team Roping in Fort Worth, Texas. And I, obviously, hopefully you guys know, it's Caitlin Gustav. Been talking to you all week on this podcast. I'm sitting down with the one and the only Farron Lucero.
Hey, what's up,
The crowd
everybody?
Goes wild.
One more day. We just finished a big day, Caitlin.
Oh my gosh, a big
Massive.
day.
Yes.
What happened today?
Well, we had the 8-5 Legends that kicked the day off. It was like a little bit of a warm-up roping to get everything going. This one was age cap, 4-steer average. It was won by Greg Mahaney and Brick Roberts as a Missouri-Texas team. Split 21,000. Brick Roberts also won 5th, so he split 7,000 with Jose Cuellar. So Brick Roberts out of Odessa, Texas had a big day. Ronnie Hill and Luke Brown. This is Luke Brown, the Luke Brown's daddy right here.
Luke Brown's
yes,
daddy.
The original out of Lipan, Texas. They were 46-31 on 4 and split 14,500.
Jeez.
In the Legends as well, Kim McCracken and James Masters out of West Texas. Their Stratford Wheeler, Texas team, $11,500, and they were 46-98. So
Great day of roping.
easy money.
Easy money.
I mean, 40 and 68 to win $21,000 in
Not
an
bad.
8-5.
Not bad.
That's what recreational team roping's all about.
I love it. And I got to be cheesy right now, but I keep singing it in my head. You know, brick house.
yeah,
It's
you
a
can't.
brick house.
And old
It was
Brick,
Brick's house.
He was throwing rocks.
Oh, my
I mean,
gosh.
he was making it, dropping bombs. He that guy roped outstanding today. He roped 8 steers in a row and deserved it. He got to reap the rewards of it. So it's awesome. That's what it's all about.
It's awesome. No, great things happen to wonderful people, and I love watching team roping. It's anyone's ball game.
Oh, we've had plenty of team roping to watch. We had
Let's talk about
1,000
that.
teams in that next division, the
Literally.
9-5 truck
Full.
roping, the Ram truck roping, and it was limited
Yeah.
to 1,000 teams. There's no telling how many teams we could have had.
Probably like 2,000.
But you know what? I think that's a great idea. It's the finals. You know what your business is. There's no need to drag your feet. If you want to rope, let's rope.
Yeah.
Let's get onto it. And so it was great watching the facilities right here in Fort Worth. They handled it with a breeze. We used 3 arenas. We've used 3 arenas all week long. I was hearing Drew Stewart say that they were timing a run to see from start to finish, from Arena 1 to the Pavilion to the Will Rogers and back. And it was like 9.5, a little over 9.5 minutes long to make that circle.
Yeah.
We've ran over 5,100 teams already.
Yeah.
It's almost 9:30 right now. We've been done for almost an hour.
Yeah.
And we ran 1,200 teams today. Awesome staff as well. Tayos, the Gentrys, they have put an excellent crew together. A crew that everybody's starting to, they may have not known each other starting off, but they've gelled and they've dovetailed and have created a great roper experience. The ropers out and about have had a great time. I'm always out there and everybody wants to talk, and most of the greetings I've had have just all been smiles and just people and families just having fun.
Enjoying it. I know, walking out, in the parking lot and in between arenas, unless people miss or have a bad go, those are the only times you see someone kind of mad.
Yeah.
Other than that, kids are running around, golf carts are going, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, they had a big junior looper roping today too.
Oh my gosh,
I heard.
we cannot forget about that.
Yeah, and those are something for the kids, the future. Those kids are absolutely impressive.
Oh my gosh, I could
Did
not.
one of them
I
really
can't
beat
reach.
Drew Stewart?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
From how far back? Did you guys measure it?
Really far.
It was far. Yeah,
Wow.
you can hear Audra Drenchy in the back. She was over there interviewing all the little kiddos. So check out USTRC's Facebook page for that special video clip with the junior loopers. But yeah, I mean, it was far back, and this little kid that won it was the 12 and under, I believe,
Got to match him.
smoked Drew Steele.
Wow, how impressive. That
Yeah. Yep, second round. Got him out in the second round.
kid has the killer instinct.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah.
like, well, that's exciting.
He wasn't scared. He said, I asked him before, I said, are you nervous? Like, how confident? He goes, 100 out of 100% confident right now that he's going to beat Drew Steele. It's like, okay, more power to you, buddy.
Watch that kid.
Yeah, he's coming for you guys. World champ in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Started right here.
Start right here at the USDRC finals.
Yeah, Watt Arena, right?
Oh,
there at
yeah.
Fort Worth, yeah. And you know, we've got great sponsors as well. Hillamatic. Those guys, I see them everywhere I go, and it's pretty much the same guys. They've got a passion for what they do. They're there to help. You always see them hanging out with the kids.
Excuse my my puppy. I have a brand new puppy, you guys. So he's not used to the corporate world and the podcasting. You know, be quiet in the background type of stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it's but it's been great. We ended the day with the 9.5 Ram truck, another great sponsor, Ram Trucks, Ram Rodeo. Gave away a beautifully wrapped 4-door Dodge Ram dually diesel with all the toys and things that you would want to drive often a lot with. You'd pick yourself.
Yeah.
And had 1,000 teams in that, limited that again. The short round was absolutely amazing. We brought 50
great.
back, so many storylines. There's a kid out of Seminole, Texas, Reyes El Reza. He roped outstanding. I actually thought in my mind he'd be the one to win it. But then a kid from Kansas named Simeon Nunnally, he showed up and he started making some racket. And then out of the blue was this lady named Shanice Kaufman.
My gosh.
And she had 2 callbacks. And the first one, right out of the bat, she hit him in the mouth.
Yeah.
She was able to grab a lot of points. And she comes back later in one of the top 5 callbacks. And her and her partner, I mean, it's a big thing. She does her part, but she got to count on this guy behind her. He misses, and there's no point. She catches, and there's still no glory if there's no time. And she came back, and she won that truck.
Yeah.
And she was so ecstatic, and that's what it's all about. We couldn't pick the winner, and that's the point of the whole deal. And that's people in the stands, they stayed just to watch that. And that's what's so important. If you can pick the winner, this isn't any fun.
No, exactly.
I didn't think she did it. There's no way. I thought that Radicell's kid.
Yeah, there was a few. That's it. I know we talked to her. You guys, she's going to be on this podcast tomorrow for day 7. She's going to be on the podcast. But we talked to her, and she talked about she wasn't even. Her horse was tied up. She was walking around. She didn't think she won it.
She didn't have an idea.
No, she had no
we
idea.
Were just filling the air. And
Yeah.
she was it. There was one kid out of Sawyer, Oklahoma, Bryden Walker. And
Oh, my gosh.
This guy, I remember earlier in the day, I was walking, I'd seen him take a hill shot. Like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw him a couple hours later. I was on the Will Rogers announcing that. I'm like, oh, that's not by accident anymore. And he had 2 callbacks. Unfortunately, something had gone wrong with one. He was like fourth and first callback, something like that. And something happened at 4th. Otherwise, this kid wins the truck.
Yeah. Oh,
he
100%.
ends up winning the roping.
Yeah.
The average out of 1,000 teams. Him and Martin Martinez out of Buckeye, Arizona. That was his header. They were $29.78 on 4, $14,000. Second was Wagner, Oklahoma's Walker McMahon and Dwayne Noah, who also could have won.
Had a chance.
But his first run in the short round just kind of fell apart. He ends up second, $10,000 there. Shanice Kaufman and Jose Angel Reyes out of Dallas, Texas, were $31.57 for $7,500. And then she had also placed in there deep to.
I was gonna say, I think
throw
it was
her
like
over the
10th
top.
or something.
Absolutely. So she bested the field. Was very emotional. A winner's high.
Oh, yeah.
You can't help it. It's one of those things where you're so happy you're crying, and you're literally just so happy. I mean, that's just joy.
Definitely.
Pure joy.
Oh, yeah.
And awesome to see. So well deserved on her part.
Definitely, yeah. No, I can't wait for everyone to hear her on this podcast tomorrow on Sunday night. It's gonna be fun. She had so many emotions, and it was so great talking to her. I know I was getting chills just talking to her out there. And I gotta pull, the hashtag rope like a girl. That's awesome. For a girl to win a Ram truck. That's cool.
That's the beauty of this sport too. It's
Yeah.
everybody's got a chance. As long as you do your part, you've got a chance.
Yeah.
So congratulations to her.
Definitely. And Farron, before we kind of wrap up this episode, day 6, we're gonna have a special guest. Cody Johnson is coming up after Farron and I are done chit chatting. And
we're the opening act.
We're the opening act, and I don't
Kojo.
think they're probably gonna skip over all this. But Kojo is on this episode, and this episode's brought to you by Resistol, and Resistol is a lifelong partner of the USTRC. Let's kind of talk about Resistol real quick.
Oh, I tell you,
and that Kojo guy.
Yeah, Joseph. He goes. That guy. He shapes my hats. I went over there. I bought a hat. Bought me a Resistol hat. I said, hey, man, I'm going to need me a different crease right here. You give me one. He said, yeah, it's not a Farron Lucero crease. So let me have it. So Joe goes ahead and gets it for me. Ricky Bolin, that guy, he's always just real kind, real approachable man just to sit and talk to. Loves sporty team roping. Dustin Noblet. Got to see him this week. Got to shake his hand and tell him thank you. But they really do live it every day.
Yeah.
And they have a big passion for what they do. They're very knowledgeable about their hats. I encourage anybody that they see anybody working with Resistol, they go up and ask them questions. Hey, what kind of vent do I need in my straw hat? Or what are these? Don't ever be afraid not to think that you're supposed to know something and you don't, because I learn something every day. And those guys are absolutely there because they care. They do live it every day, and they're there to help you.
Definitely.
It's always Team Resistol for sure.
Always Team Resistol. I know I love all my Resistol hats that I have and wear all the time.
And Mary
I love
Jane,
them.
she's so awesome.
She's one of the best.
Yeah, I got to see her earlier in the week, and she's always been so kind to me, and sincerely kind. So I always appreciate that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. Awesome, Farron. Well, thank you for sitting here and chit-chatting with me.
Absolutely, and I hope they enjoy Kojo after this. That guy, he is a fanatic about team roping.
Yes, oh my gosh. You guys are going to hear all about his love for the sport and, his musical career and everything on this podcast. I was so excited to interview him.
That's awesome. Great guy.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Farron, and thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy this episode with Cody Johnson, brought to you by Resistol. Each day this week at the USTRC National Finals of Team Roping, we have talked to Resistol endorsees, and today I think we have maybe one of our most favorite interviews. I don't know, I'm pretty excited about this. I am sitting down with Cody Johnson at the USTRC National Finals of Team Roping. I don't think I would ever dream that this would be happening right now. But I'm really excited to be talking to you right now.
Me too.
I'm
happy to be at the point in my life where I can actually get interviewed with something to do with team roping.
This is awesome. Yeah, not just your music career, your roping career right here.
Yep.
Man, how long have you been team roping? Have you been team roping your whole life?
I've been off and on for about 5 years, but the last 5 years of my life has been so hectic. It's been so crazy. I really haven't had time to devote to the sport. So when COVID-19 happened and the country shut down and they canceled all the shows because apparently I'm not essential, I really spent more time with my wife and kids than I'd ever spent before. We renewed our marriage vows. I wanted to know what it felt like to be at home. And then after a while, like a guy like me has to have an outlet. You have to have get the physical stress, get the mental stress out. And so I just started roping. I was hooked up with my friend Colby Lovell, which, everybody listening to this podcast knows who Colby is. And it was really cool because when we're in the arena together, I'm not Cody Johnson, and he's not the world champ. It's just a couple of boys just beating each other up, trying to see who can outdo the other. And in doing so, it's really, really made me focus. In the last 3 months, I've bought 2 horses, so we're in it to win it. But I've been able to shake off music, shake off the stress of life, and just kind of really focus on something. I love competing, and having a guy like Colby that's so positive, and he's such a pusher. He pushes you to do more. I don't know. I just found my stride, and I have had a blast. We're hooked now.
That's awesome. And I want to talk about it too. You say being on the road and all of that, it's so stressful. But people that rope all the time, roping can be very stressful. Has it been stressful for you? How do you balance all that?
Roping is stressful whenever I think about it as my job, because I think as a header, you feel like the whole thing's on your shoulders.
Yep.
But I have to block that out, and I think I've learned more from roping than anything else. Because when I walk on stage, and I don't mean this to come across wrong, but I can walk out in front of 85,000 people to play. No big deal. I've been doing that since I was 6 years old. I know my craft. Just how Colby Lovell can rope bareback, left-handed, and heel 2 legs, because he's been doing this his whole life. But for me, it's become frustrating at the same time as I feel like whenever I do get frustrated, it's like that moment where I have to switch the mechanism and go, no, I'm not going to be controlled by the anxiety. I'm not going to let myself get to remember we're doing this to have fun and represent the brands that I am fortunate enough to have, you know. I take pride in every time I'm back in the box. I've got Resist All and Wrangler and Cactus ropes, and those people are looking at me. So I'm trying to elevate the brand, and I think that helps me shake off the anxiety and the frustration, because some days you go rope everything, and some days you look like you've never roped in your life. And I had one of those days yesterday.
Dang it. Yeah, it's definitely, this sport is not for the faint of heart. It's very challenging.
Yes, it is.
What is it? My old roping trainer used to tell me it's 2 fools trying to get lucky on the same day.
That's exactly right. I always think about it as 5 brains that all have to be thinking the same thing.
Yeah, there's so much that factors into it. Man, when do you find time, like, to, obviously you're playing, you're singing, you're, working on songs, and then you're working on your roping. What's your schedule look like, I guess?
Well, for the last couple of months, I've had a lot of off time. I mean, I've been roping 5 days a week for the last, 2 or 3 months now. And in May, we're going to pick back up. We've got 11 shows, and it's all through the Southeast, which is really great. I mean, as a matter of fact, I leave tonight at 3 a.m. to go play a show in Lubbock.
Oh, wow.
And things are starting to pick back up. But I don't think we're ever going to go back to the schedule that I had of the breakneck, just go, 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 go. I mean, at one point, you'd play 3 shows in Texas, ride the bus to wherever, get on the plane and go to New York to do media, and then fly back in to play the shows, and then fly to L.A., and it was just, it got to where it was so much. Once I slowed down, I figured out how fast we were going. And I need that time to just go rope and be myself. Not that I'm not myself on stage, but I mean, we all kind of know it's a job to me. I got to put it on and make sure that I do my best and perform for the people. So it's nice to just be humbled by the roping sport. I'll have more time throughout the end of the year. We've got a documentary coming out called Dear Rodeo.
Okay.
And it's kind of a story of my life from young age to now, and we've got a brand new album coming out. It's a double album. It's got 2 sides. There's 18 tracks on it.
Oh, man.
I'm finally going into the studio in July or August, and we're going to record a Christmas record, which I am super excited about.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That is so
I mean, there's
exciting.
a lot going on. I think you have to adapt. And whenever the world changed, I thought, well, all we did was tour. Well, let's just go record, you know. So now we've got products ready to come out, and I'm all about not playing as many shows.
Yeah.
For those of you out there listening, they're mad about that. It's not that I don't love playing, but man, I've enjoyed the time off.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I feel like, it's so crazy to look at you guys in your industry, in the music industry, and how much you guys do go and how much you are putting out there for your fans, and it's mind-boggling.
Well, and it's different for us too. Like in my camp, every night before we go on stage, I tell my guys, don't leave anything behind. Like just play it like it's your last show, because you never know. It could be your last show.
Yeah. And
we never airmail it in. It's always 100%. When you see me on stage, and you see the sweat, and even if you see me breaking into tears over stuff, that's real. And that's draining. It's draining on a person, and I do miss it. I have missed very much. Like when we had our off time, I mean, there was nights I'd stare at pictures of 12,000 people in a crowd and just think, God, I miss it. I miss them. I want to be there, but everything happens for a reason, and God's a lot smarter than I am. So I'm just going to keep riding this.
Definitely. And it, you say you miss it. You miss your fans in the crowd. What was it like? I guess looking back, maybe your very first show. What was it like walking up on stage? Do you remember that feeling?
Well, there's a reason I don't give kids in the industry advice, is because I skipped my first college final to go play my first gig. And I just said, college is not for me. I just feel like I got a calling, and I went and played for $100, and it was an acoustic night at some bar, and it was just, I felt like I was on top of the world. And then you fast forward to Houston Rodeo, coming in the first time. I mean, my legs were shaking like I was back bull riding. And then, a little further down the line, we played in Gillette Stadium for 85,000 people with George Strait. And it didn't seem like it was a big deal. It just, I've looked back and seen the progression of the desensitizing of, man, it just kind of is what I do, but that feeling that you get, I can't describe it.
Yeah.
There's not a drug on the planet, I'm sure of it, that comes close to it. It's just, when you give yourself to those people, and then they give back to you, that energy is just something you can't replace. I mean, that's why most of the nights when I walk back in the bus, I'm drenched with sweat and I'm panting,
Yeah.
But I love it. There's nothing I'd change about it.
That's awesome. And I know you said obviously you started in the music industry at a young age. Let's talk about like your roping background, your rodeo background. When did you kind of get into that industry?
So my sophomore year of high school, I wanted to start riding bulls, and I rode through high school, rode a little bit out of high school, and I was good enough to win a buckle or two. I was good enough, but I wasn't. That's not where my talent was, and I didn't have any physical direction back then. Like now, I mean, I work out 3 or 4 times a week. Doug Champion with Champion Fitness is my trainer, and I do yoga and all kinds. I mean, like if I would have had that kind of drive then, I probably could have been more successful. But I was also young and stupid too. I thought I was Clint Eastwood when I was 18, and my wife says sometimes I still do. But so when it fizzled out, I focused so hard on music, but I knew that I just had to be connected to rodeo. So, I mean, I would rope with my friends and no direction, nobody telling me you ought to do this, you ought to change this. It was just roping for fun. Yeah. And cutting horses became a passion. I rode cutting horses for a little while, and I love it. I enjoy roping more.
Yeah.
And it's always just kind of been it's always been in the background, and I've always felt that calling of like it should be in the forefront. So, like I said, when we've had this time off, my wife and I just bought a ranch in Madisonville with arena and stalls, and just kind of making a life change because my little girls are 6 and 4.
Okay.
And it's my responsibility to introduce them to this. Yeah. I'm a first generation rodeo cowboy in my family. There's no cowboys in my family, so I want to make that change in the cycle. That way, and they say about hunting, they say with little girls, you hunt with your daughter so you don't have to hunt for your daughter. And I figure as long as they're in the arena with me and mama, I mean, there's a lot to be learned on that dirt. There really is.
Definitely. Yeah. And, like you said, you guys bought a ranch in Madisonville. That's Colby Lovell and his family, they live there. And you rope with him a lot. What is something, is there something that Colby's said to you that's kind of always stuck with you, or any advice he gives you with your roping? Or
well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of advice with the roping, and he's really good. We're wired the same way. We're both like 90 all the time, and so it's fun because I'll get to ribbit him and he gets to ribbit me. But one thing that he told me was something nobody's ever told me. He said, stop showing signs of weakness. Don't bite your fingernails, don't chew your lip, don't be with your rope, just no signs of weakness. And when you miss, stick your chest out and act like you're the baddest son of a gun there. Just no signs of weakness. And so it kind of stuck with me in the roping pin, but then I've noticed like in other aspects of my life, I'm like, no, we're not going to show signs of weakness. We're always going to be on top. It's arrogant to think I'm the best guy here. Yeah. But when you're back in the box, go ahead and have that attitude. Give that confidence and don't show signs of weakness. And when you fail gracefully. And it's, I understand and I'm aware of the fact that there's younger kids out here that are watching me. So sometimes when I want to get pissed off or if I really get frustrated, I remind myself, hey, these kids are watching you. And so I think that was something he opened my eyes to a little bit more. Yeah, it's,
setting an example in and out of the arena.
Now, after the roping, don't be coming looking at me for an example. Fair warning for any of y'all that see me out there.
Love it. Oh my goodness. Man, and you're heading. Let's talk about these head horses you got. What's kind of in your string?
So the first horse is the sorrel I ride most of the time, and it's funny because it's Colby's daughter's horse.
Okay.
And she made him shake hands and said, "Daddy, don't sell my horse." But she's not. Man. She's a great hand. She's probably a better cowboy than I am. And but she's probably not going to be ready for this horse for the next year or so. And so Colby's obviously got his string, and I got the opportunity to ride him for a year. Yeah. Took insurance out of him and I'm just keeping him up. That's and I'm awesome. Learning a lot from him because he's so automatic. But at the same time, if I ride him like a baby, he will be a baby. Yeah. Colby can get on him and be 3 flat. But if I don't ride, he won't go. He's going to do exactly what you ask. So it really pushes me to, if I do my part and I ride well, I score well, I get to the cow well and rope, then he's going to do, no matter how fast I want to go, I know he can. Yeah. At the same time, I've been riding a lot of Colby's backup horses that are I mean, they're a lot of horse, and I'm having to step my game up. Then I'm getting on some of my friends' horses that are not quite as much horse, and I'm having to really rope the same. I just bought a horse, a big gray horse from Greg Zwerneman. He's 15 years old. He's a great horse, but he's kind of set in his ways. You know, and I've had to learn to rope around that.
Yeah.
And I just love getting on different horses. I love getting on the gray. He's so tall and his stride is so long. And then you get on the sorrel and he's short strided, but he's fast. But getting to adapt and making sure that my swing's in the same spot every time, I just feel like I love switching. You know, maybe not at ropings. You know, I kind of bring one horse and want to. I have a backup, but I kind of want to get in my groove. But at home, I'll run 5 steers, switch, run 5 steers, switch. You know, just work on me.
Definitely, and I think that definitely helps ropers of all kinds, all different number of ropers to get on different horses, because you can get so comfortable on, the short-strided horse. You get on a long-strided horse and your swing's off, your timing is completely off.
I agree.
No, that's awesome that you can do that and you want to work on that change.
Right.
That's
well,
awesome.
my goal is just to be better. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going for a gold buckle. I'm also not going to say never, because you never know what God's going to put in your path.
Yeah.
So my thing is work hard, work as if you're trying to go get a gold buckle, and then still remind yourself, for like guys like me, you're doing it for fun. Don't get too frustrated.
Yep.
Don't work yourself up. It's just for fun. You know. So.
Yeah, this isn't your day job. This is the fun thing we get to do on the weekends.
Shoot, my show in Lubbock tomorrow night's going to be a day off compared to these marathons we've been doing.
I love it. And man, yeah, I mean, you're here today at a roping. You're going to go do a show tomorrow. What going from a roping to a show? How does I guess I don't even know what I want to ask right there, but that's just it's completely.
It's two different mindsets, but my goal when I came from Texas to the kind of the mainstream was to be the guy from Texas that didn't change anything. I didn't change my sound. I don't want to change my looks. I'm not that guy. I just my wife's gonna die when she hears me say this. I don't like being told what to do. I just don't like being told what to do. And I wanted to be myself. So I feel like we've kind of conquered that to where we are getting the Nashville recognition. We are getting the mainstream play, but we're not a quote unquote Texas act.
Okay.
But we're still able to be ourselves. So we're kind of like in a league of our own in that pond. And I thought about it even further. I'm like, I want to be the guy that, I'm not trying to one up George Strait or anything, but it's like I want to go compete. I want people to see me be as human as possible and win and lose and compete and come after you, know. But I don't know. I think whenever you see me in that element, or if you know that I'm actually really the guy, and you see me on stage, for people that don't even really know me that well, they're going. I think there's just there's an authenticity that comes with it, and that's what my goal is. I want people to look at me and know exactly what they're getting.
Definitely, and I want to jump into this part of it. We got to talk about it. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Resistol, and let's talk about your partnership with Resistol. Let's talk about your partnership with Resistol right there.
Okay. Ricky Bolin was the first person to really, push me as far as I was wearing a different brand hat, and of course he was teasing me about it.
Oh yeah.
Dustin Noblet, who's become one of my greatest friends over the years, they kept pushing me to be a part of the brand. Well, I tried some hats, and honestly, I love the product, obviously, but the culture of the company is what kind of sold me.
Okay.
The way it was run, those two men have been very, very influential on me as far as how I carry myself, my business, and they're just good influences. So I wanted to be around that. I feel like you're 100% a product of who you keep around you, and you can't get any better than Dustin Noblet and Ricky Bolin, and everybody else at the company for that matter. And we've been with them a long time. They were gracious enough to let me sit down and design all these hats, and I mean every piece of it, from the sweatband, what kind of weave it's going to be, I just found out a couple days ago it's the #1 selling straw at Resistol.
That's awesome.
I thought that was the coolest. I was like, well, George Strait's obviously first. And they were like, no, you're out. I'm going, what?
You're like, I beat out George Strait right there.
You could not have told me at 8 years old that was ever going to happen. You know what I mean? God's been so good, and I don't know. I'm very fortunate. Resistol is probably the best company that in the market as far as the people. I mean, that's all. I can't talk enough about how great those people are, and they've been great to me, giving me a lot of opportunities.
Definitely, yeah. I know. I love everyone at Resistol. I know. We work very closely with them, and especially Mary Jane Carpenter. Yep. She's #1. I love that lady. Yeah, and Joe over here at the Resistol booth. Everyone's so great there, and they're like family. And their slogans, we live it every day.
When we get through with this interview, I'm going to go out there and outshape Joe.
Oh, please
JoJo at
do.
the Resist All booth, just everybody, when y'all are listening to this, just know that I can shape a hat better. And when he hears this, that's fine.
Let's have a hat shaping competition
I'm
after
in.
this.
I'm in. I used to do it for a living.
I love it. We're gonna do this. Man, that's exciting. Man, and let's talk about your hats. What hats do you have? What line do you have with
So
Resist All?
it's just the Cody Johnson line. Obviously, you go click on it on their website. It'll take you to it. I just kind of wanted a smorgasbord of different styles. I didn't want to be married to one thing. The top, the crown in them is that's actually a mold of one of my hats that I had when I came to the company. I hand shaped it.
Okay.
And so they molded it. Actually destroyed my hat when they did it. But everyone comes with this top. It's not really a square top. It's not really traditional. It's just something I kind of came up with. It almost looks like it's just kind of an old rough stock look. But it seems to fit. And I've got guys that are not rough stock that wear them, and I see them and I'm like, man, it's actually decent. The top doesn't distract, but it's just got my own little flair to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. Like I'll see them at ropings or I'll see them at shows, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. You can just look at it and see and be like,
Yep.
yeah, that's my hat.
Yep, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I know I was talking to Joe and Ricky. Let's talk about what is this cologne line you got going? New business venture?
Yeah, so Ricky and I had partnered with our friend Woody Lee on a company. It was a cologne company that had gone out of business. Long story short, we bought the company. And the way they sold me on it was they brought me out a bottle that it was unlabeled. It didn't have anything on it. And so I sprayed the cologne on, went to the meet and greet that night, and the first lady that came in, she goes, gosh, you smell great. And you don't hear that
Yeah.
at interviews. At meet and greets, I'm like, that's just random. Then the next guy comes up and he goes, hey man, what kind of cologne are you wearing? That smells good. And I thought, you know what? I'm sold.
Yeah.
I put it on for the first time, and it was just a good product. My wife loved it. It's not too masculine. It's kind of got almost like, we're fixing to talk about doing a women's line, doing a women's fragrance. But it's sold really great. People have been very supportive. Anybody that's bought it, thank you so much, because we're not just killing it over the deal. We're not just getting rich and fat and happy over the deal, but the business is being successful, and that's very encouraging. Anytime you start a small business, it's really encouraging to see it start to take. So the goal is to grow it as big as we can, or sell it, or I don't know. But I think it's a really cool opportunity. Again, you couldn't have told me as a kid that would ever happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm enjoying this. You're not just selling people a product because it's your name on it. Like, you actually truly believe in these products. You believe in the Resist All hats.
Right.
You believe in this cologne line. That's cool because, we can sit there and watch TV, all these ads, and we're like, okay, do these people actually use these products, like these products? And yes, we're hearing it here. Like, Cody Johnson, you love these products.
I'm just all about gear, especially with hunting gear too. Like, I'd put it through hell and see if it lasts. And whatever lasts, that's what I use. Like, when we approached Wrangler, 8, 9, 10 years ago, it was, hey, he's going to be wearing Wrangler anyway. You may as well.
Yeah.
And that's the way I believe in products. I feel like if you can put them to the test and they hold up, bet the farm on it. You may as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess what's next? Obviously, you're going to your show tomorrow. What's your year looking like for 2021?
May's going to be pretty thick with shows. June's a little bit lighter. We've got some shows in July. All the shows for the rest of the year are booked, and I've got plenty of time to rope. I've already qualified for Vegas at the finals, so I'm planning on roping the rest of the year out. I've already found my stride. I'm one. Once I catch into something, I can't really let go of it.
Yeah, definitely. And and we got to talk about too. You talked about your upcoming album. Can we get a sneak peek? What songs are going to be on it? Is there a favorite? What can we?
I can tell you next month. The first song to come out off the record, we're going to release them individually.
Okay.
Because there's 18 songs, side A and side B. The first song next month will be a duet with Willie Nelson.
Ooh, man.
And then we're going to release a couple songs a month after that till about October. And then the rest of it will come out.
Oh, I'm going to be downloading on my Apple Music.
Oh, y'all hear that?
So
Y'all need to be downloading it.
I'm so excited for this.
Me too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cody, for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.